Some people who are watching this video, you might be anxiously looking for answers on how to grow on YouTube. Maybe you're frustrated that your channel hasn't blown up yet, or maybe you're stuck in a creative process, or maybe you're just sick of having YouTube help behind some guru paywall or paid course. Well, no matter the reason, I'm here to help you with no strings attached. I've got 2 fully monetized YouTube channels that quite literally can pay my mortgage every freaking month. One of those channels, it felt like I was dragging myself across concrete to get monetized, while the other one literally benefited from all the mistakes from the first channel and got fully monetized in less than 90 days and started getting paid sponsorships. So today I want to synthesize some lessons for you with 3 things I think anyone wanting to have a successful and a sustainable YouTube channel should do. And that's all going to be gleaned from the failures and mistakes that I've made along the way. So before we begin, I want to help you and invite you to become an active participant in this lesson. So if you're able, try to find a quiet space, pull out a notepad, and most importantly, I want you to start by taking a deep breath. YouTube seems to cause a lot of us anxiety, and I see so many stories on Reddit of people stressed out of their minds that their channel just isn't working. So I want us to take a deep breath together. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath and hold it. Good. Now slowly release it as I count backwards from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop them in the comments below or share your own advice to others in the comments. Again, the topic of growing on YouTube seems to be a stress-induced journey, and that's from my own experience as well. So let's help each other out in the comments, okay? Okay, so let's talk about how I started making $500 a month on YouTube and the 3 things that I would recommend to all of you watching. So tip number 1, this is going to be an honesty assessment. Okay, so open up your notebook or your journal, okay? Using one word, I want you to write down the niche you are currently doing or you would like to do in your notebook. Good. Now below that, okay, I want you to write 2 words to describe that niche. So for example, if my first word was gaming, then my next entry might read handheld gaming, okay? Good. Now, below that, I want you to do another version of this. I want you to use 3 words to describe the niche that you are pursuing or you would like to pursue based on the last entry. So again, using my example, I might say Android handheld gaming. Okay, so now if you've made it this far, you should have a very clear picture of what your true niche is or could be if you're going to be doing this whole YouTube thing. Now go ahead and circle that niche description that has 3 words. Now I want you to pick 3 adjectives to describe how you want to deliver that content within that niche. Here's an example: funny, 4K, and relatable. Okay, so go ahead and take a second to think. Don't worry, I'll wait. Again, the thing here to do is to find 3 adjectives to describe how you want to deliver content. Okay, now that you have your true niche and 3 descriptions to describe how you're going to deliver said content, I want you to ask yourself, which content format do you prefer? Or perhaps ask yourself, is long form or short form more appropriate for the niche and how I'm ultimately delivering this content? Once again, I'll wait, take a second and ask yourself, is this long form or is this short form? Good. Now, I promise this exercise will be helpful at the end. Just follow me all the way through, okay? Now, I'm going to set a timer for 60 seconds. I want you to see if you can come up with 10 distinct video ideas that follow your niche and the content delivery style that you've written down. Let's begin. stop? Okay, were you able to come up with 10 distinct on-brand video ideas? If so, then you passed the first test. If not, I would really encourage you to ask yourself an honest question. Is this the niche for you? There's no shame if it's not, but the only way you can be successful on YouTube is to be able to niche down, be in your own content style, and ultimately produce a ton of videos. So this exercise is actually designed to highlight your own compatibility with the niche that you want to explore or that you're already performing within. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does this get me monetized and how does this get me money? Well, the brutal truth is that if you can't niche down, deliver in a content style that's unique or in a format that's appropriate and release schedule that is sustainable, then it's probably true that you may never get monetized. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. Now, if you didn't pass this initial test, ask yourself, is this really the niche that you want to make like 400 videos about and truly see yourself investing insane amounts of time into? It's okay if you need to change niches. It's better to align than push on. In fact, that's exactly what I did and had to do on my first YouTube channel. And once I did, that's really when I was just better for it. Now, all this leads me to my second tip in how I got to earning $500 a month through YouTube. Okay, so now that you've done the baseline work of establishing your niche, your descriptions, your content delivery, and even your content schedule, I want to talk to you about probably the most important thing on this list, and that's building relationships. Now, while you're dropping your videos on the cadence that you've chosen, maybe it's weekly or daily, it's important to see the bigger picture. You can literally start earning money even before you get that precious letter from Google welcoming you into the monetized YouTube world. You need to start building external relationships from day one. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you need to start a list of like 100 companies or brands or products that fit into your niche and begin a reach out strategy. Literally sit down, make a list of every product that you would have a similar audience to. Go Google for a contact email and then add it to your list. I would make along this way, I would probably make a one-pager that kind of describes my niche, my vision, my content style, so that you have a actual deliverable to show these companies during the actual outreach phase. You want to include some images from your channel, maybe some comments, showcase your Discord if you have one, and sell them on your vision. Basically, any way you have to access people online is now your offering to these companies. They will pay you to have access to the pipelines that you've built. And I really want to encourage you guys, there's no need to downplay yourself either, okay? Who cares that you only have 200 subs? You don't need to sound like a beggar during the outreach process. When you start emailing them, you can literally just ask them if they're open to exploring influencer or creator partnerships and see what happens. One of my favorite techniques early on was to offer these different products or companies a 3-minute ad segment in my video in exchange for a free product. In my first 90 days, I had packages arriving at my house and I was building those relationships that have actually turned into paid relationships, that's really the core here. And then once I was done with the video, I could even go and actually sell the product on Marketplace to earn some cash. And as you kind of grow the strategy and you grow your ultimate YouTube channel, you can even begin asking for media fees and a product in exchange for video segments. So let's just say you get to like 500 subs, right? If you stack 2 relationships a month and you ask for a media fee of like $150 plus whatever cash you get from actually reselling the product, you could easily be hitting $500 a month, depending on your niche and ultimate product alignment. And that's just an easy way to kind of bring in some side income as you're growing your YouTube channel. Now, as you do this, do not let up on your YouTube video creation. You got to keep pushing them hard. And most importantly, stay on brand, okay? Now, my last tip, and again, this is ultra important and something that I just cannot emphasize enough, is doing landscape analysis, okay? I typically have 6 weeks of content pre-shot and uploaded so that even if I'm sick or if I need a break, I can coast for a week. And I found this extremely helpful in also balancing my content styles. You have what they call evergreen content, which is basically any content that's relevant over months and months and months and possibly even years. And that's what's going to get you sustained long-term trickle-in views, okay? A good example of evergreen content would be something like 10 indie games that changed my life. Okay, that list is true today, and it's also going to be true next year. And that is the foundation of your YouTube channel. But you also need to be flexible in covering trending topics, okay? This is where you're going to get your power punch to reach tons of people fast. A good example could be covering a game that's planning to release next week, and you're going to cover some game theories, okay? This video will have a very short shelf life, but you could also gain tons of subs quickly. And the hook for that is going to be your niche and your delivery style that's going to hook them and show them why they need to watch your other evergreen content videos. And if you function like me, right, you'll have a backlog of videos, and it makes it even easier than to pivot into covering topics that might pop up last minute. So you can push, the video that you plan to release this week out to next week, and then quickly spin up a video that's covering a hot topic right now without affecting your overall strategy. That is literally what I did for both channels to really build up the momentum of sustained growth, balancing out evergreen with trending topics. And that's how I've really kind of grown my overall income strategy. Now, obviously, there's so much more to YouTube than there's 3 tips, okay? But truly, these 3 things together have built me a very strong brand on both channels. And like I said, earned me enough to pay well over my mortgage. And I do this time and time and time again. And I really want to encourage you guys to do those 3 things. Now, if this video has helped you, consider sharing it with one of your bros who might also be having some of these YouTube anxieties. It's totally normal. Even at, my experience now, being 6 years into YouTube, I still get those self-doubting thoughts and questions. Totally normal. And I think this is why it's really important for people to just be honest about the YouTube creation journey, okay? So like I said, these are the 3 things I've done to basically rocket launch new channels into earning, like I said, $500 a month very quickly, very early on, and sometimes even before you're monetized. If you can do that, I think it's very realistic that you could actually be fully monetized and getting paid sponsorships easily within 6 months. If you need more help, check out my other videos. Drop a comment. I'm happy to help. No smoke and mirrors here, guys. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.